That's a good ball for Peter Weir. Now Aberdeen with McGee making the break and Hewitt waiting in the middle. Hewitt!
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you and supported as always by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And also by Craig International, who proudly present that from next season they'll be sponsoring Kingsley Westside Under-13s girls football team, their shirts. Kingsley Westside are based all the way out in Australia. And congratulations to everybody that made it happen. Tomorrow, we head to the capital. My thanks to everybody at Hibs TV for providing me these drone shots of Easter Road, where things are not looking too good for the home side, and Aberdeen need to get back to winning ways and capitalise on Hibs' poor form. Don't forget, tomorrow, kickoff is at 19:45. Just to put it into context for you, with our game only being the Scottish Premiership game on Tuesday, it gives us an opportunity to go back level pegging on points with Celtic and make an even bigger gap between us and Rangers in third place. You can see Hibs' woes all the way at the bottom of the table. It's a really good time to face them. Probably not a better time. How are you doing? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Monday night. This is the preview show, Countdown to Kickoff, as we look ahead to our game against Hibs at Easter Road tomorrow night. So, very much looking for your input as always this evening. Jump on board, come and tell us how you're feeling about the game. Do you still have any lingering thoughts after the defeat against St Mirren? If you do, please get in touch. If you are a supporter of a different team, you are absolutely more than welcome to come on board. But all I ask of you is that you don't indulge in any skullduggery, because we simply won't accept it. Just please be friendly, be nice, and be respectful of fellow football fans. It's very important that on this platform, we keep it as friendly and as amicable as we possibly can. So I'd be very grateful if you would please consider, if you do want to come on, you are more than welcome. And you're more than welcome to join in the chat and tell us your own thoughts about your own football club. But keep it friendly and do not use bad language, please. So, a little bit later, I am delighted to welcome to the show former Aberdeen Football Club historian, Kevin Sterling. Kevin has written a number of quite brilliant books about Aberdeen Football Club, and he's just released another one called Aberdeen's Golden Era, which is all about Sir Alex Ferguson's time at the football club. So Kevin and I spoke earlier today, and we had a little chat about his book, and we had a little chat about tomorrow's game as well. So we'll bring that to you a little bit later on. I personally think his book would be an excellent Christmas present. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Right, team news. So, Angus is out and will remain out for at least another game. So this is what I think. I'm not sure what you guys think. I've kind of toyed with the team again because I think there need to be changes. But I'll come on to why I still think he'll stick with the same back four. Now, it's been flagged up, and you saw the analysis piece with Andrew and I yesterday, where there is a pattern where the long ball over the top is causing it issues. I think because of Sivert Nielsen's head knock, I think he might sit this one out. So I think Ante will come in instead of Nielsen. I think Leighton will drop out because I don't think he was at his best on Saturday. And I think Jamie will fill that gap. And then I also think that Kevin will start up front and we're going to have pace either side on the flanks. Because I think pace will hurt Hibs. This is what the manager said today in his pre-match press conference before the boys set off to the capital. He said, we always take it game by game. We're going to win some games, lose some and draw some. We're not alone in the league. There are a lot of good teams. I don't think this will impact our belief or behaviour from day one. This has been a long-term process and nothing has changed with that. We need a good performance and we still want to improve parts of our game. It is a good challenge for us. Hopefully lots of supporters will come to watch us because this is a journey we are on together. Over 2,500 will be present at Easter Road tomorrow, which again is a phenomenal effort. I understand that there are a handful of tickets left, just a handful. But the fact that we're taking that amount of people on a Tuesday night to the capital to cheer the boys on is just fabulous, I think. So, the team. I just think he'll stick with the same back four. But I think if they cause us issues with the long ball, and we've seen it now on more than one occasion. So yesterday Andrew Budge and I flagged up the over-the-top ball that killed us for the opening goal on Saturday, and it also happened in the corresponding fixture at Pittodrie. Also, don't forget, it happened against Dundee as well, where Dundee won their penalty just before half-time. Over the ball top, wasn't dealt with by either of Gavin Malloy or Slobodan Rubicic, and it ended up with us conceding a penalty. So what I'm really hoping is that these guys continue to learn from their mistakes, because this is the glaringly obvious mistake that the two of them keep making. And it's like what we said last night on the review show. I just wish one of them would take command of marking the forward player and the other just dropping off a yard or two to almost act like an old-fashioned sweeper. So that if the ball does break free, that they're there to basically clean everything up. So let's see what happens tomorrow, but the long over-the-top ball must be taken care of tomorrow. So yeah. Right, just let me clear a little bit of space first, because I got a couple of other bits and pieces that I want to get on. Just let me drag the match stats in for you, because we've got some match stats. That's there. We've got Kevin, so let me drag Kevin's item in for you. There's Kevin. Let's not forget that, which goes nicely with Kevin's piece. And then there's one last item to go in before we finish off this evening. And that is all the way down there. And there we are. Right, let's get the old bins on. And let's see what's happening tonight with you at home. Okay. Oh, lots of you on. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Right, let me just drag that all the way to the top so that we can get going. Okay, Barry Cooler's on first of all. Hi, Barry. How are you? He says, good evening, everybody. Let's get back to winning ways tomorrow and put on a decent performance. Think JT will be dipping into the January window for a central defender. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Excuse me. Colin Gale said, we need improved communication with the centre-backs and a return to our effective midfield, which was lacking on Saturday. A win tomorrow will set us up nicely for the trip to Tynecastle. Richard Mickey McMillan is here. How you doing, Richard? He says, hello, everybody. Missed Sunday, but big week for us. Come on, you Reds. Barry Cole thinks that Angus will possibly move on in January. Jerry Kennedy is here, wishing everybody a good evening. Gordon Keith Ritchie has said, good evening. We were poor on Saturday and we should get back on track tomorrow. As Hibs are not playing well, the team needs freshened up tomorrow. Sue says, good evening, Dandies. Back to winning ways tomorrow. I hope. We're just not used to getting beat. Jerry Kennedy says, we need to be tighter in defence. Chilling is on, wishing everybody a good evening. Barry Cooler suggested that maybe we give Jack Milne a chance at centre-back. Neil Simpson is here. He says, good evening, Dandies. Hope everyone is well on tomorrow's game. Hibs are there for the taking, and if Yumi gets the tactics spot on, then we will get the 3 points. He's predicting a 4-0 win for the Dons. Graham Barron says, good evening, Ali. Hi, Graham and fellow dandies. Let's start with the team that came out in the second half on Saturday. I think Morris is suited being an impact sub and going after tired legs. Let's do this, Aberdeen, he says. Gavin Wilson says, good evening all. Yimi does seem to have his finger on the pulse. He's taking the errors of the last game and will turn them around for tomorrow. Onwards. Suze has said, shout out to Lynn, the SLO, who has sorted out seats and access so my pa can get to the fans' Remembrance Day on the 21st of December and celebrate his 80th birthday too. What a club. That's absolutely fantastic to learn, Suze. Lynn, who is our supporter liaison officer, she does an incredible job, I think. A phenomenal job. A lovely lady to boot as well. Just the nicest lady you could meet. And I remember when I went to Frankfurt last year, and my trains were late and all that kind of stuff. And she was so helpful and so friendly and made sure that I got my ticket and got to the game and all that kind of stuff. She's absolutely brilliant and an absolute credit to the football club. Great, Suze. Thank you for posting that. Jerry Kennedy says, we need to start Toppy and Duke tomorrow. Martin Smith says, Ruby and Gav decent when it's in front of them, but we've been caught with the ball over the top a few times this season. And if Boyle plays the way he does, he will exploit that. We need a centre-back with pace or play Malloy deeper. Interesting. So you would prefer that Slobodan would be the player that picks up Boyle and Gavin just drops off. Yeah, I can see that. Neil Mazon saying good evening, everybody. Neil Simpson came back to say, we need a bit more bite and fire determination in that midfield. As I think on Saturday, Clarkson gave us virtually nothing. But as I said, Hibs are there for the taking. Kaiser's on. How you doing, Kaiser? He's saying, hopefully, back to winning ways tomorrow. Graham Watson says, talking about Saturday's game against Dundee, he says that he agreed that Hibs were decent before the sending off. Can't afford to be complacent just because of where they are. But I doubt that JT will allow this. Scott W says, all we need to do tomorrow is play our game and we'll get the 3 points. There's no doubt there'll be a few changes, but 3 games in a week will dictate that. Doug Smith says, McDonald in for Ruby, and it's time Vinny got a run. He always impresses when he gets on. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Doug, Angus will not be available for tomorrow. The manager came out in a press conference today and said that he's not available. He's still 1 game away from being back to sort of fitness. So, he's training, but he's not even in the match squad for tomorrow. But he will be back and available for Saturday. Kaiser said, I really hope that Ruby and Malloy was watching Andrew Budge's analysis last night. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you could see what we were trying to do and how we're sort of trying to take the programs forward for you. So far the feedback has been fantastic. So thank you for that. And, if you have any suggestions, please just get in touch and let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. I really am. At the end of the day, the channel is for all of us. And if I can just help improve it with your suggestions, if I think they work, then of course, absolutely, I'd be delighted to get them. So yeah, just get in touch and let me know what you would like to see more of. If there's anything you want to see less of, just let me know. Because at the end of the day, it's about you guys and I'm making it for you guys. So as much as I love it and have an absolute blast here, and can't wait to get on. I'm doing it for you at the end of the day. So I see it as your channel. So if I can improve it with your suggestions, then by God, get in touch. Trust me, I'm not arrogant enough not to take your suggestions on board. Paul Donaldson says, good evening, Ali and Dandies. Watched the press conference with Yumi Talene and Graham Shinnie today. It's good to hear we'll approach the game in the same way, despite all of Hibs' current problems. Exactly. Sorry, hang on. We play Hearts on Sunday. So we do. Sorry. So we do. Jim Balfour, good evening, Dandies. Looking forward to tomorrow's game. The Hibs always up their game for us, but hopefully we can weather any pressure with composure and communication, then start doing the business. Kevin Sterling is here, and he wishes everybody a good evening. So, Kevin, you've teed that up absolutely perfectly. So, if you're unaware of this very fine gentleman, Kevin Sterling used to be the football club's official historian. He has an encyclopedic knowledge of our football club and has written a host of brilliant football club books. And I implore you to buy them all, honestly, because you will not tire of any of them. And he's got a new one out, just in time for Christmas. It's called Aberdeen's Golden Era, and it's all about Sir Alex Ferguson's time at the football club. So he's basically traced that time. So what we did was we jumped on a wee Zoom this morning and we had a chat all about his book. Welcome to the show, Kevin Sterling. Good morning, Kevin. Lovely to jumping on. So you've got this fantastic new book, which is already out, called Aberdeen's Golden Era, all about the time when Sir Alex Ferguson was the manager at the football club. One of many books that you've written about the club. First and foremost, where did the concept come from for you to write this book?
Good morning, Ali. It was always something that I've had on, the sort of back burner for quite a number of years now. To be honest, it was one period. It's been covered before. There's been some excellent works previously. What I was keen on doing was putting together a comprehensive history, statistical, anecdotal, that encapsulated that complete period, which on reflection was, it was as good as it gets.
What I found really interesting about what you've done is you've not just looked back on how well we were doing on the pitch, but you've also sort of encapsulated how well we were doing off the pitch as well as a football club. And it never really entered my mind until I read it that you have to remember that at the time, Aberdeen only had 3 directors running the football club. But my goodness, how well did they run it?
Yeah, well, football was very different back in that era. Commercially taken over. TV was virtually non-existent. You had maybe 2 or 3 live football games in the whole season. So it's very much very different back then. And Aberdeen were it was a tight-knit bunch at Pittodrie. Dick Donald had been there for many years. Very well known for his frugal ways, if you like. In hindsight, it worked a treat. He was criticised for selling top players in the 70s, but when it all came together, along with Chris Anderson, it was it was probably the best run group that we've ever had, small as it was. But again, football was very simple back then. To run a football club, it was primarily the stadium, the players, the manager, the supporters, and that's it,
Again, something that I, to be honest with you, I didn't pick up on at all until I read the book, which again is absolutely fascinating, is that we lose the 1979-80 League Cup final to Dundee United. And then after that, we did not lose a cup final under the stewardship of Sir Alex Ferguson. And it just made me thinking that sometimes you have to have failure to have success. And I just wonder how much he learned from that final going forward.
Well, over 1979, of course, we had the unique, unwanted record of losing 2 League Cup finals that year.
Right.
I actually trace it back to the one in March, where Doug Rugby was sent off in the cup final against Rangers. Brought its own controversy. But fast forward to December, and we've done it again, a replay against Dundee United. I think the fact it was Dundee United's first ever major trophy, and they were seen as one of our close rivals back then. And that hurt. I mean, and it still hurts to this day. For the manager and the players, it was as bad as it got. So I think Ferguson sort of harnessed that. He sort of, embraced it, if you like, in a way that to change adversity into success. And he said, you never ever want to go through that again. And to be fair, he didn't. I mean, he turned it around to win so many major finals beyond that and not lose one. It's quite remarkable.
Also, you've touched on how well the city was doing economically at the time, because obviously the oil industry was booming. But again, it's just very interesting to see how you've sort of compared and contrasted how well the city was doing, and then coupled with how the football club was doing. It was a match made in heaven almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. At the time, Aberdeen was booming. Money. The one thing that Aberdeen didn't sort of was post oil. They didn't sort of, they didn't sort of.
There was no contingency plans, almost, was there?
And very much that at the time it was very much everybody's on the sort of crest of a wave. The team well, the city's doing well. Pittodrie was as sold out as it's ever been, apart from this last month, of course. It was very much, it was a perfect storm in many ways.
You have an astonishing knowledge of our football club. So just to finish off, I'm wondering, was there anything when you were doing your research that caught you by surprise that you didn't actually know about? And I think I know what you're going to say.
To be honest, not that much.
That's what I thought.
I really wanted to put together a complete record, if you like. And some of the stats that I've put together, well, we scored 900 goals under Ferguson, which was quite a round figure, because I've encapsulated that period from he started till the day he left. So in that period, we scored 900 goals. Played in 19 different countries, and we played in 91 different venues. So the level of sort of stats did sort of give me something new, but in terms of any sensational stuff, no. It kind of knew already.
Yeah. Okay. Just to finish off, Hibs tomorrow night need to bounce back after the disappointing defeat at the weekend. How do you see it going?
I think, the winning run had to come to an end. And if we take any positives from a defeat, I would suggest that if there's one of the sides that we're going to lose to, it's a side that's not going to hurt us.
Yeah.
If that's the case. If it had been a Celtic or a Rangers defeat, then that might have hurt a bit more. But it had to happen sooner or later. The start of this season has been record-breaking, sensational, and we've all embraced that, and it's beautiful. Tomorrow, Hibs will be hurting after last weekend, but their support is on a knife edge at the moment, and that's something that we really need to tap into. Get command of the game early on, score first, and I think we'll be fine.
Kevin, absolutely fantastic as always. Thank you so much. I know the book is already out on the shelves, so the very best of luck to it, and I wish you well going forward, fella.
Ollie, good to hear from you.
And you, mate. Take care. And there it is, Kevin Sterling's brand new book, Aberdeen's Golden Era, the Sir Alex Ferguson Years, published by the fine folk at Pitch. And my thanks to Jane from Pitch Publishing, who sent me over these stills to be able to be used on the show tonight. Let's get to the match stats ahead of tomorrow's game. Let's not forget these. The Dons are looking to win 2 away league games at Easter Road in a row for the first time since May 2019. No side has won fewer home games in the Premiership this season than Hibs, who are winless in their last 4 league matches at Easter Road. Aberdeen's last trip to Easter Road was a happy one for the Dons, who ran out 4-0 winners in May. The referee tomorrow is Callum Scott, and the man on VAR is Steve McLean. Also, guys, don't forget tonight, like, ba-boom, subscribe, ba-boom. Right, back to your comments. Neil says, finish at 3 tomorrow, then down the road, no ticket weekend, so a wee rest then. Ian Barron says, good evening, Ali. Same performance last time we played at Easter Road. Saturday was a blip. We move on. Tracy Barber is here. Hi, Tracy. How are you? She says, hi, Ali. Was at the match on Saturday. Definitely felt that we deserved to get beat, and hopefully they can learn from it and get back to winning ways. Neil Simpson came back to say that he wants to flag up 2 goals that the opposition have scored by leaning on shoulders of our defenders to head the ball into the net. Carter Vickers and again against the Buddies. Well, the Carter Vickers one I'll take, but I think Taylor's one, do me a favour, take another look at it, because I'm not sure he's on the shoulder of our defender. I think he leans on the shoulder of one of his own players. Take another look for me, please, because I might be talking absolute gash, but I'm convinced he did. The musical box says, we need not to play around so much at the back as we did on Saturday. Can't be bothered, asks a very simple question. He says, can we just bin the zonal marking? Dear God, please do. Kevin Sterling says, think Nisbet and Duke have to start tomorrow. If we score first, then the Hibernian support will turn. It will be right up our street. Hope you enjoyed the little chat with Kevin there. Yeah, the musical box also agrees with Kevin that the first goal will be very important tomorrow. Dave B says that Ruby should be the McLeish and Malloy the Miller in the partnership. I like that. That's how you all seem to be going. That Ruby should be the one picking up the centre forward and Gavin should be just dropping off 1 or 2 yards further back to clean up. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. A lot of you are suggesting that maybe Jack needs a little rest. Jack McKenzie. Scott W says, and you know, it's an interesting point that you make, Scott. Slightly contentious, but interesting. He says it wasn't a great performance on Saturday, but I think some are overreacting slightly. There has most definitely been an overreaction. Do you know what I don't get? While we're talking about it, do you know what I really don't get? Is fans of other football clubs that can be bothered to tweet on Aberdeen's own X account when they put the full-time score up. Why would you do that? I don't get that at all. I could never, ever imagine myself taking a few seconds out of my life after seeing Rangers or Celtic or anybody else lose a game of football and go onto their official X account and leave a disparaging remark about the result. That behaviour baffles me. But unfortunately, that is the way that platform has gone. Andy B said, Andy B says, head not in it. One of the best outfield players on Saturday, linking play, 1v1 defending, etc. Sorry, fella. Sorry, Andy. Forgive me, fella. Can you just clarify who you're talking about there? Billy Johnson says, I've met Lynn on many occasions and you're absolutely spot on. She goes above and beyond and is a really lovely person to book. Talking about Lynn, the SLO. Scott Bowie says, we definitely need cover at left back for Mackenzie, as he's definitely looked more leggy the last few games and getting caught out of position a wee bit too often. Don't be surprised if Balvara gets a start tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. Oi, easy. What's happening there? Jim Balfour says, like McLeish and Miller, Ruby and Gav are both capable of brilliant attacking passes that set up chances. We've got a good combo there, which can only get better. Legends in the making? Maybe in time. Hi, Jim. Hope you're well, fella. You see, now that's interesting. So a few of you have now come on and talking about X, where a lot of you have already said, binned it years ago, got rid of it years ago. And a lot of people are now suggesting that, what is it, Blue Sky, something like that? Blue Sky? Oh yeah, Mad Ferret says, get yourself over to the Blue Sky. Yeah. Keyboard Warriors. It's bizarre. It's absolutely madness. Brian McRae says, good evening, Ali. Hope you're well. If we play to our ability tomorrow night, I can't see anything than a Dons win. Lachlan Murison is here. Hi, Lachlan. He says, good evening, dandies. Saturday was terrible on the defence, so we need to get back on track tomorrow. Right, guys, I think we are just about done. So, yeah, okay. Right, so let's have a wee think here. So we'll be back on Wednesday to do the review show. Andrew Budge will be back, so we'll do our little analytical segment as well. So look out for that. We'll also be back on. When do I have my kids? I got my kids at the weekend, so we'll be back on Friday. We'll do Friday. We'll do the preview show ahead of the game on Sunday. Hoping to have another guest for the show then. So, as we always do on Countdown to Kickoff at this juncture in the show, is bid you a fond farewell by wishing the boys the very best of luck tomorrow against Hibs. And if they can just get back to the basics, just get back to how we were, try and replicate, it's interesting that Yimi sort of talked about, for 20, 25 minutes on Saturday in the second half, is how he would want us to play. We just need to get that over a longer period in games. And then honestly, God knows where we could be. So I hope we kind of find that consistency back again over a longer period during the game. Be very mindful of the long over-the-top balls, which I think that they will look at. David Gray will look at that, and I think that he'll pinpoint that as one of our weaknesses. So I absolutely hope that we sort that out. But overall, we should have too much for Hibs tomorrow, and hopefully we come back on Wednesday in an even happier mood. If you are going to the game, please have a safe journey, and I will see you again on Wednesday night. Take very good care of yourselves. All the very best. Stand free.